The BBC are no shy in being in scandals and doing the opposite of what is right for this country. In fact, I stopped watching this crap years ago, and I'm surprised people within our country still tune in. In today's video, we will be discussing their latest scandal, which has seen them be blasted for their actions, following what has come out recently. We will discuss this in today's video, whilst also going over all of the latest news from up and down the country. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and join our fast-growing community. Just a quick one to say we have new Stuck Farmer t-shirts available on our store. Go grab them now. They are available at britishstand.com or check the link in the description. The BBC is facing backlash for airing a documentary on Chris Kaba, a London gang member fatally shot by Met Police firearms officer Martin Blake in 2022, at a time when tensions surrounding the case are still high. The documentary's timing coincided with the recent news that a £10,000 bounty remains on the head of Sergeant Blake, who was recently acquitted of Kaba's murder following a 3-hour jury deliberation at the Old Bailey. The decision to air this episode has sparked concerns, with critics suggesting that it could inflame an already sensitive situation and potentially increase the risk to Blake's life. The programme focused on the events surrounding Kaba's death during a police operation in South London 2 years ago. It included commentary from the leader of the investigation, who explained why a murder inquiry was deemed necessary and questioned whether Blake's actions were justified. Some argue that revisiting these events in such detail, so soon after the acquittal, could reignite public anger and misunderstandings, especially with the revelation of a threat still hanging over Blake's head. Former Metropolitan Police officer and commentator Chris Hobbs expressed strong criticism of the BBC's decision to air the documentary now, describing the timing as very questionable. Speaking with The Telegraph, Hobbs said, "The flames have only just begun to die down, but then you have the IOPC and its investigator choosing to throw petrol onto the embers, with the assistance of the BBC and its Panorama documentary." He argued that, given the documentary's explicit focus on the police's controversial handling of Kaba's case, it risks exacerbating the already volatile atmosphere surrounding this high-profile shooting. Hobbs also underscored the violent background surrounding Kaba and his associations, stating, "We are now fully aware of the extreme levels of violence which surrounded Kaba and his fellow gang thugs." He argued that by revisiting Kaba's story through this documentary, the BBC risks amplifying public hostility and increasing the personal risk to Blake, who was found not guilty of murder. With emotions still running high and a substantial bounty reportedly placed on Blake's life, critics argue that the broadcast's timing could intensify animosity toward police officers involved in high-stakes incidents and further endanger the acquitted officer. What are your thoughts on this, and do you still watch the BBC? Let me know in the comments. In some other news, Labour has come under fire over its controversial plans to fast-track migrants from countries including Afghanistan, Iran and Syria to Britain. On Monday, Sir Keir Starmer announced that he wanted to push all cases through the system much more quickly, amid a sizable backlog of unprocessed asylum claims. He had been asked whether the Home Office would move to fast-track claims from countries with high grant rates. Those with the highest grant rates include Afghanistan, Eritrea, Sudan, Syria and Iran, which together account for over 35,000 asylum claims in the current 120,000-strong backlog, Refugee Council data says. Either way, the Prime Minister announced a £75 million spending drive on border security at the Interpol General Assembly in Glasgow today, as both he and Home Secretary pledged to stamp out criminal smuggling gang networks. Part of that is set to go to dealing with unprocessed claims, the Prime Minister said, but the plan has been slated as effectively giving up on border control. Speaking in an interview, Migration Watch UK Chairman Alp Mehmet pointed to Labour's earlier claims that fast-tracking would reduce the cost of accommodating migrants, with tens of thousands being put up at Britain's expense to the tune of £4.2 million every day. But he said processing claims more quickly does nothing of the sort, and simply passes the burden onto local authorities and adds strength to the already powerful magnet pulling asylum seekers to the UK. "It's an open invitation for anyone claiming to be from these countries to make their way here," he said. Starmer's speech today effectively gives up on border control, full of platitudinous waffle. He called on the world to wake up to the challenge of people smuggling. If only he would wake up from his pipe dream of smashing the gangs. Mehmet called the £75 million boost peanuts, telling in the interview, "While additional resources on tackling illegal channel crossings is welcome, there's still no sign that the government means business on small boats. Only making clear that illegal arrivals will not be permitted to stay will send the right message to traffickers and migrants. By binning the Rwanda plan and expanding the accommodation capacity the government has made, clear it expects the flow of boats to continue. The traffickers are laughing and smashing the gangs is just a pipe dream," he added. Responding to a report on migrant hotels and the backlog last month, a Labour source told a news channel, "We're working on clearing down the backlog they left behind after years of just doing nothing." While Sir Keir Starmer said today, "I think we should move all the cases through the system much more quickly. One of the problems we've got is that the last government didn't process the claims. That left us in the worst of all worlds, which was unprocessed claims. More and more people being added to the list of people who need to be processed, all of them being housed in hotels, and you got into this complete fundamental problem. We do need to process claims. Obviously, we can triage them in terms of what can be done when we've got to get claims sorted out. We've got to get appeals sorted out, and we need to get removing people," he vowed. Lastly, Kate is back in training, as the Princess is said to be planning overseas appearance with Prince William. The Princess of Wales biographer believes that the Kate will make more public appearances next year, but will take a less is more approach. Robert Jobson, author of Catherine, the Princess of Wales, said, "From what I understand, Catherine is doing very well. She is back training at the gym and doing all the things she wanted to do. I do think that we will start to see a lot more of her, and that she will carry out engagements, as well as continuing to work behind the scenes. If she has her way, she will come back in stages and do things that are important to her, because she doesn't want to get ill again, but also, I'm told, because she has a different perspective now." The Princess of Wales announced she was diagnosed with cancer in March this year and temporarily stepped back from royal duties to focus on her health and recovery. The Princess of Wales made her first public appearance since finishing her cancer treatment when she and William met the families of the 3 victims of the stabbings in Southport. In September, the Princess of Wales, alongside Prince William and their 3 children, appeared in an emotional video to announce she had completed her chemotherapy treatment. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British political content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.